It is a flaming, flying motorcycle to the face.
Yes.
We are here to rise, roar, and revolt on Breakfast All Day, Christy and Alonso. So RRR has been around for a while, but we are catching up with it. We'd heard total raves about it. We had to see it for ourselves. And so we did. Alonso, you went to one of the encore showings this week. Tell us about it.
బ్రిటిష్ ప్రభుత్వానికి ఎదురు తిరిగిన నేరానికి నేను అరెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. తొంగి తొంగి నక్కి నక్కి గాదే.
So yeah, this is a film from SS Rajamouli. It stars two huge stars of Indian cinema, NT Rama Rao Jr., aka Junior NTR, and Ram Charan. They are playing real life Indian revolutionaries who stood up against the British, Koram Bhim and Alluri Sitarama Raju. But this is a very fictionalized version of, hey, what if they met and became friends, but we're also at the opposite sides of things. Ram's character is, when we meet him, a member of the sort of British forces, and sort of fighting on the side of the British. And when we meet Bhim, he is single-handedly taking on a tiger in the woods. Both introductory sequences for these characters, my jaw was on the floor, and we're in the first 15 minutes. And so a young girl from the Gone people gets taken away by these awful British people. The governor and his wife, played by Alison Doody of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Haven't seen her in a while. And so Bhim heads to Delhi to find her, and that brings him into conflict with Raju because he is trying to get promoted, and even though he is like the best and the most ferocious, he's constantly overlooked in favor of the British guys. But when he finds out that whoever captures Bhim will get a promotion as special officer, then that becomes his thing. They become friends when they rescue a child in another jaw-dropping scene involving a burning a train car, a rope, a horse, a motorcycle, and a bridge, and a flag, but not knowing who each other is. And then they do, and they come into conflict, and then there's an intermission, and then all this other stuff happens. Okay, let me be the first to admit, I am woefully behind on my sort of Indian commercial cinema. I've seen a lot of Deepa Mehta movies, but in terms of, the big action blockbusters, haven't been going. I have a lot of friends who are into these films and can rattle off their favorite stars and directors. I'm coming in on this late, so I'm going to grant that I only barely know what I'm talking about, and if I get things wrong, let us know in the comments and forgive me. This film is shot in Telugu. If you see it on Netflix, you will see the Hindi dub, and so I can't speak to that because I haven't watched it yet, but this is just breathtaking. This movie is 3 hours long, and it feels like it just zips by. The set pieces are extraordinary. There's a musical number that is next level. This is cinema.
It's not just a musical number, it's a dance battle.
Oh boy, howdy, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was in for, and I sat there on this couch behind me, and I watched it by myself in the middle of the day, and was just like screaming at the TV, like, holy shit. There's a thing involving a whole bunch of animals.
Oh yeah.
That I was like, oh my God.
There's a card at the beginning that says, by the way, all the animals are CG, none of them were harmed. I'm like, okay, fine. And then you find out what the animals do in this movie. You're like,
well, not just that, it's like they're very specific about like oxen and tigers and wolves and
deer,
birds. Like it's not just blanket animals. It's like we're going to break down all the species that we didn't actually harm because they're all made of CGI. Both these guys have just enormous charisma,
right?
And it's just amazing to me how this works on so many levels, and yet is maximalist all the time. Like whether it's about their friendship, which is just like this exuberant bromance, and it's lovely and sweet, and what they do together on their horse and their motorcycle is just like hilarious. It's like something out of a gum commercial. It's like hilariously happy. And then but it's got that tension beneath it, because you know that they don't really know who the other one is, and that's going to come out eventually. And and then the dance number is spectacular. And I just had a really good time. I never knew where it was going. It's melodramatic, and yet like crazy action, and it's
super anti-colonial.
Right. It's like not even in the slightest way subtle. And like, why should it be? There's no reason for it to be. I mean, the people, the British colonialists are absolutely horrible, racist assholes.
Yes.
They
except for the one nice one.
Except for the one nice one. Yeah. She's fine. And she has, and of course, there's not like a whole lot to these characters beyond a couple of traits.
Bad guys.
They're bad guys or they're good guys. But there's so much charisma and there's so much like muscular filmmaking going on. And it's so alive and constantly surprising that you're always into it. Like I had so much fun and I'm so bummed that I saw it by myself in the middle of the day.
I will see it again with you in a heartbeat if it's projecting again.
For sure.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's interesting. We think about movie stars as being these kind of creations, and they get hyped up, and we see them on the cover of magazines and blah blah blah. I walked into this movie not knowing who either of these two lead actors were, and within like 30 seconds, I'm like, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this person is so charismatic. This person is it's just such a fucking star. I get why they are two of the biggest movie stars on the planet. And it's just like, I never had an interview with them, never seen them on a red carpet. And I was just like, movie star, you know.
I've seen that meme of them dancing like all over Twitter, but like out of context, it means nothing. Like the whole thing with the suspenders. And of course it's all sped up and everything is heightened here.
And there are even moments where like the CG isn't necessarily, you know, realistic, but you don't care.
You know, care.
It's not even the uncanny valley. It's like a step removed from that where it's like, yeah, this is obviously, you know, a thing that we created, but we're creating something that's so exciting and unexpected that like you just go with it. And so I now got a lot of catching up to do because dang, this was so thrilling and just like absolutely, you know, if this isn't my favorite film of 2022, it's going to be very high.
We see so many movies, and how often are we surprised?
Yeah, exactly. and delighted and thrilled and you know, and also by the way, the animals are CGI, the crowds are not. Every crowd scene, those are all people, those are all actors. And so, you know, that scene, the scene later with the big, you know, the animals emerge at the big party for the governor. I mean, there are just like thousands of extras, you know, on camera at certain points. And it's the whole thing is so thrilling. I know I sound like a lunatic, but that's what this movie has done to me. I'm so excited that this exists and that I saw it, and I can't wait to see it again.
It is a flaming, flying motorcycle to the face.
Yes.
So what are you saying then?
It's a 10. Of course it's a 10. It'd be a 12 if I could, but it's a 10.
I'm only saying 9 because I didn't see it in its optimal form. I had a really good time, but I do feel like I'm remiss in not seeing it. So if it does come back out again, I will totally go see it with you. It'll be so much fun.
Excellent.